love
No,
it.
it took me a while to realize that I have to click got it so the thing would go away. I thought it was just going to automatically go away.
Isn't that
I got it this
stupid?
time, though.
You hear it, so you have to go and say, got it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
hearing it. I see it. It's recording. Okay, in the top left. But anyway, that's enough gripe for today. So welcome back to Not a Strong Start, a movie podcast by filmmakers who talk movies, television, and gripe about Zoom recording sessions. I'm your host. I'll be back.
Let's run upstairs.
I'm Kevin. I don't know. Wait. When do we get cool nicknames? I don't have a cool nickname. Here we go. I am. What was that sound?
That's a good one. Jose, hit us with a current event.
So current I have, which I actually got really excited about. I don't want to get too excited just in case it doesn't pan out.
Okay.
But Trick or Treat 2 is in the early stages where the creator
Ooh.
is working with Lionsgate to kind of get it off the table. It's not 100% greenlit yet, but it's looking good at this point in time.
Yes.
And I am ecstatic because Trick or Treat, it's a yearly watch for me.
Oh, yeah.
Watch it every October. Love one of my favorite horror anthologies.
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on it?
Oh, dude, I
it.
love the atmosphere of that movie.
Mhm.
It's like I love it. That's one of the things that I love about horror movies is when they build a really cool atmosphere. John Carpenter does that really well with his movies, but Trick or Treat, like it feels like every single inch of that movie is Halloween. And I also heard that they were making a sequel, and I was stoked for it. So yeah, I thought it was so clever. And it was fun to have all these different stories, these Halloween stories that just tie into each other. It's just so cool.
Why did it take this long? That's my question. Why did it take this long for us to get a sequel?
Bryan Singer. I don't know.
Yeah.
He had to work out his horrors.
I wonder if it was like a financial thing, because correct me if I'm wrong, I may be incorrect on this. I don't think the original one ever came out in theaters. I don't think it was a theaters movie. So I don't think it had a chance to like be financially successful. It just became like a cult hit and people like watching it. This new one, I believe they're pushing it for it to be a theatrical release. So maybe that's why it took time kind of convincing them like, hey, this can be profitable because that's what it comes down to the studios. So I think one thing I like about it is like, because like there are other anthologies that I've enjoyed. Like I enjoyed the original like VHS anthology. I feel it has some gems in there. But what I liked about this anthology, you never seen it?
VHS?
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
The first one, it's good, but like every anthology has hit or miss stories. So this does have hit or miss stories, but the ones that hit are really good.
Yeah.
But I feel what this one did that other anthologies don't do is that it came out with an iconic horror icon, which is the Sackboy.
Yeah.
In there,
Sackboy.
It's like even people who haven't seen.
Is that his official name?
Yeah, is that his name?
It's not. But it reminds me of I don't know if you guys remember that old PlayStation game. I don't know if it came out like PlayStation 3 or anything, where you get to like create levels and things like that. Well, the main character was like Sackboy. He had like a sack. So it always reminds me.
I think
of
all
that.
boys have sacks. Maybe I'm wrong.
Where is it? I met Sackboy.
Okay, so it's interesting, Jose, that you said that with the sequel, they'll be going out in theaters, whereas the original didn't. You don't usually get that very often, especially when there's been this long of a break. That's pretty unique, man. So the fact that they're able to accomplish that, bravo to them. That's good.
Yeah.
It means it means it built up a good cult following, and it did very well in streaming. It had to have in order to get that kind of confidence.
Well, I mean, I know I've probably helped it out myself with all the viewings that I've given it. In general. Yeah. And then I believe, I don't know if this is nationwide, but they are gonna do now kind of like a special release of the original in theaters. And I'm sure they're also going to be looking really hard at that and see how that is received on top of that. But we'll see. I'm ecstatic, but I'm not, 100% yet until it's officially greenlit. But the creator and Lionsgate right now are looking like they're going to make it happen.
It's greenlit. Just enjoy it, Jose. Have faith.
Enjoy it. Okay, I have a question for you guys. Do you guys ever go and see re-released movies in theaters?
One I actually did. I saw Halloween when it was re-released in theaters. It was in October. This must have been like 6 or 7 years ago, but
Okay,
it was
I can see
it was in
that.
Pasadena.
I
And
can
I
see
got
that.
to because I'd never seen it on the big screen. I always wanted to
Exactly.
do it. And then in Pasadena, right by the Halloween house. So yeah, that was cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can see
I
that.
I can do it if it's a movie that I watch on a consistent basis anyway, that I watch every year or every couple of years and things
Hmm.
like that. It's like, why not? I'm gonna watch it this year anyway. Why not do it on the big screen? So in those cases, I will.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of how I felt with the original Star Wars. Do you remember when George Lucas added the VFX and all that? I was still hyped to see it because obviously we were too young to see it in theaters. So if it's those kind of spectacle type movies, absolutely.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, if it's a movie that I grew up loving, but I never got to see it in the theaters because either it came out before I was born or I was a little kid.
Hmm.
I love going to see those when they're re-released, just to say that I saw it in a theater. But if
Yeah.
they re-release something from like the 90s or something, I don't care. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to. I'm not gonna go
Speed.
see fucking Avatar
Let's say
Avatar
again.
for the
Speed. Are you gonna go watch Speed re-released?
I would watch Speed re-release just because I like that's one of I love that movie.
Wait, you're not
Okay.
gonna watch the 18th re-release of Avatar?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
by
not.
the way,
And I
it's
never saw it originally in the theaters either. That's what's
Mm.
funny. I never saw because everybody was raving about it, but I was so stubborn. I'm like, I'm not gonna go see it. And they're like,
Yeah.
it's just the most amazing experience to go. I'm like, no, I don't care. I don't know why. I was just stubborn. I'm like, I didn't go see it in the theaters. And so yeah, even if they do, well, no, they already re-released it. I think it's playing
multiple
right now.
times.
I
Yeah,
Yeah,
think
they
no,
and
I
have
it is
think like
multiple.
again.
recently they
Hmm.
started doing it. Anton
China.
the other day was just like, "Hey, you want to go see the new Avatar movie?" I'm like, "That's not out yet."
It's
He goes,
not
"I'm looking at
new.
the showtimes. Is Avatar?" I'm like, "They're just re-releasing the original, dude." He's like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit! All
Oh,
right."
And
he thought it was the new one.
Yeah, he thought it was the new one.
yeah, no, every time the record is like threatened or is surpassed, they re-release it. Like,
Yeah.
no. So
That's
Seriously, that's
true.
literally what happened this last time. Yeah.
James Cameron got that ego.
Yeah,
uh,
man. You don't give a
but by
damn.
the way, the character's name is Sam. So also
Yeah.
starts with an S, like
Wait,
Sackboy. So I was close.
Sackboy is Sam? Sam
Yeah,
is
I was
so
looking. I was
unmenacing.
looking for the picture that I had of him. That's why I was like distracted by my phone, but I couldn't. I couldn't find it. When I actually went to
Yeah.
Pasadena last year with Augustino, there was
Damn.
a bunch of Halloween people, and there was a little kid running around that exact same costume. I'm like, I gotta take
That's
a picture of
cool.
this fucker. Come here.
Oh
Sam.
man,
That's
that's a
imagine
that's
dying
a
by a guy named Sam. Like,
that's
come on.
a
Unless it's the
terrible
summer Sam.
costume for a
Yeah.
kid, by the way. That and like you dress your kid as that or Chucky, you're looking for them to get punted. Like
Yeah.
that's just the way it is.
I
No
have
risk will be taken.
I have no filter from kicking a child that I think is evil. I don't
Nope.
care. I'll do it.
Get it out of here. Not today, Satan.
Huh?
Not today.
You get too comfortable, you let them get in your airspace. Next thing you know, you've got a broken pumpkin lollipop to the throat.
What would you do? Would you kick him like in the head, or would you punt him like between the legs like a field goal?
Right in the
How would you
chest.
do it?
No, I feel like you gotta
Right
do
in
it
the
that way.
chest.
Right in the chest.
Yeah.
Get him right here. Hit me. At
Whatever.
height.
Whatever will get the most distance. That's what you gotta go with.
I've thought about this, Kevin. I've thought about
Right
this
in the
moment.
chest,
Right in the chest. Yes.
like
right in the
kicking
lower
down a
chest.
door. Like that's what you would do it, Dan.
But a very little door, a very small
Yes.
door.
Yes,
It's like the
yes.
one from Willy Wonka. Remember when they have to open it up and they all shrink to get inside the factory? It's like that door.
That is how you kick children. Yes.
All right. So in this week's episode, we're going to be attacking horror tropes.
We should mention the last horror movies that
Oh,
we
yeah.
each watched, and are there any horror tropes that we do remember from that? I don't know if you want to start us off, Kevin.
Yeah, recently I watched The Evil Dead and the Evil Dead remake. That The Evil Dead got Ash right there.
Woo!
I watched that
Dead.
this week because I hadn't seen the original in so long, and yeah, it's still good. I still love the original, but then I get kind of weary around remakes, and I wanted to watch the remake. And dude, their Evil Dead remake is good. I liked it. I liked how they didn't try to copy it exactly, like with the characters. They didn't try to make an Ash, but it's the same situation. These people have to go up into the cabin in the woods, and it's because the girl was like she was a recovering addict, and she was trying to sweat out the getting over it. And I thought that was such a cool idea for something like Evil Dead, because if you're going through withdrawals or something like that, like you're gonna see things. And I just thought it was a really, really great film, and it was the remake is one of my favorite remakes now.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we actually just we did a couple of episodes ago a horror reboot episode, and that was one of the ones that we covered, and we all loved it. So definitely
what's kind of crazy though, the girl when she gets all possessed, as gross and nasty as I'm like, she's still kind of hot.
Kevin's like, I would.
So I'm like, she still got it going on, even though she's looking at that knife and like the tongue is splitting. I'm like, but why is that hot? I don't know.
Because she has two tongues now. You're like, there's a lot of things you could do with that tongue.
What's one horror trope from that movie that you remember, Kevin, that you caught?
I mean, going to a cabin in the woods. I'm like, that's literally what the whole movie is about. But when the basement trap door flips open, and they're all like, "What was that? Let's go investigate." That's something when they're, and also with the remake. Like, this dude finds that evil book in skin, but it's wrapped in plastic and barbed wire, and he's cutting it up. That's already telling you, don't read from the book, bro. And he cuts it, and he opens it up, and he just starts seeing the most evil shit possible. It's like, do not read this. Do not read this out loud. And they're scribbling out the names. It's like, I can figure out what they wrote down. He's like putting a piece of paper, and he's doing like a paper run, and he's saying the words. I'm like, you fucking idiot. That's something that's a trope I always find funny, because it's the exact opposite of what anybody would do. Do not read from this evil fucking book, you idiot.
No.
But never mind the fact. I mean, at least me, when I first read something, I usually read it in my head. I don't automatically read everything out loud that I grab in my hand. But and then if someone says like, "Hey, what does it say?" Then I might read it out loud.
Especially something in a different language. Don't read it out loud.
Yeah, it was demonic. It was like demonic names. And this dude's a teacher. I don't trust this guy teaching kids.
No. Yeah.
How he brings it to class.
Kids, we're gonna take turns one by one reading page 1.
Today, Junior. Stumbling over the words. Like, come on, Johnny.
Verata.
Come on. I saw that.
What are you trying to do, Kevin?
I don't know. I didn't say the last word. I said I didn't get all the syllables, but I got some of it.
What about you, Dan? What was the last horror movie you watched, and what was one horror trope that you caught on it?
Yeah, man, I just saw Werewolf by Night. I loved that movie, man. It's what Universal should be doing with their movie, with their monsters.
I was thinking that too.
Totally 50s trope. The whole thing felt very 50s, and it seemed like Universal, you guys don't want to make it. Disney's like, okay, cool, we got it. So they did such a good job with it, and that one had quite a few, but it felt very 50s. They even shot it in black and white. They even added some of those film grains that would kind of pop up, those little blotches that would come out. Really cool. But they had a magical artifact. So you always have the amulet that has powers and the mysticalness. And
when you say amulet, I always think of Monster Squad.
Yes.
My amulet. Like there's always an amulet somewhere, and those are great.
It's always magic.
It's funny because like in the Evil Dead game, I've played it. You pick up amulets, they give you extra protection. So like that was even something they included in the Evil Dead game. That is true. It's always something you find in those.
It's so funny. I was having this conversation with Pete, and I think he was watching the Evil Dead with me or something, and I'm like, yo, what would you do if like all of a sudden all this evil came out? And he goes, oh man, I grab a relic. I'm like, wait, what? Like he had his answers. Like, I just use a relic. Like, in like Big Trouble in Little China, at the end, he takes out a relic and he uses it. I'm like, first of all, like, where are you getting this relic? And I just love how you automatically just had that packed and ready to go. It's like, oh yeah, dude,
kicking the little person in the chest. Same thing. You've already planned this out. You already know how you're gonna get out of this horror.
Yeah, I don't watch horror movies for fun. This is all for planning and
It's
strategic
research.
purposes.
Yeah, it's
When
research,
things go
man.
down.
Taking notes.
That's it. Yeah.
Exactly. One that I just recently watched yesterday, The Void, and it was okay. It was basically the whole concept of the movie is you have this individual who lost someone and now they want immortality and they want to be able to bring like their loved ones back from the dead. So they create this connection basically with another like dimension, this like hell basically, and it's causing like all these creatures. It's just a giant cult movie.
That was the cult one, and didn't some of it take place at a hospital?
The whole thing pretty much took place at a hospital.
Yeah, I don't think I made it through the whole movie.
It's a very slow burn, and I don't
Yeah.
mind slow burn if the payoff is good. The
Mhm.
payoff was not great, so it ended up anticlimactic at the end and just like weird. But one of the horror tropes that we got there was just like the not waiting for backup. You always get the line of like, wait for me, don't go without me. And the
Yeah.
first thing they do is like, I better go in here alone.
Nobody
Yeah,
does
it's
it.
got-
Nobody ever listens in horror movies ever.
No, and that's when we got there. And of course, it did not go well because it never goes well when you go in alone. So, but I feel like that's a perfect transition to kind of get into some of these horror tropes. So the first one, the killer who won't die. I feel like that's something that we always see. You know, all these things that in real life would probably kill someone, especially like we get with Scream, gets his ass kicked so many fucking times, and he like doesn't die.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're
So
high
that's the
schoolers.
first.
It's a high school guy too.
They're running on straight adrenaline and hormones, dude.
Yeah, like
Michael Myers, he ascends into evil with every kill. Other guys are just horny and they just want to fucking kill and scream.
Yeah. I always saw that because they explained it with Friday the 13th, right? When you get zombie Jason, like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it now. He's a zombie. But when it's just like a regular human, you know, like Leatherface, for instance, kick him in the balls. Like, why? Come on.
Mike Myers supposedly was supposed to be human. You know,
he is,
and
right?
he should have fucking died a lot
Well,
of
that's
times.
that's what I was thinking because he had the 2018 one and then the Halloween Kills, and they both took place the same night. And he is a human. He had his hand blown off. He was stabbed. He had all this stuff, and that was just in the first movie. And then the second movie, he's going through even more damage. I'm like, dude, how much blood does this motherfucker have? He's a human being. He's not bandaging himself up or anything. He's just like constantly losing blood. I'm like, how is he not dead?
And he's not young anymore. I mean, he's been doing his movies for fucking 40 years, so he's older. And
He's like
knowing
in his
getting older,
60s.
I stubbed my toe yesterday and I was starting to write my will. Like I thought it was over. Like,
What am I
this
getting,
guy-
Jose? What am I getting on your will?
The toe. You're getting the toe.
Good. I'll put it in a jar and save.
I
So
don't
every
want to
time we
be
do
on
our
the will,
podcast-
but I'm just gonna stand in the back of your funeral with an umbrella, like you had something serious going on in your life.
There's no rain. You're just holding the umbrella.
Just a dark,
gotta-
scary figure
gotta
in the
do
back
that-
of the
yeah.
cemetery, watching from a distance on a hill with a hook in my hand.
Yeah, we can double up, and then like Dan can be further away watching you
Yes.
watching the funeral from a distance.
And I'm wearing even darker clothes with a bigger umbrella. Like it's
And even
comically
further
big now.
behind Dan is Jose, who faked his death, and that is the big surprise at the end.
His umbrella is just a tent. He's now just sitting in a tent, wearing all black, and you can't even
I'm
tell.
not
it's
even
Jose.
holding it. It's just like on my head, like carrying.
All right, so let's get
All
into
right.
some of these horror tropes.
All right. So the next one, phone is always dying or has no service. I mean, this is something we've gotten more probably within the last like 15 years or so. I mean, before it was a dead landline, but now, as technology has evolved, now they have to explain why these people aren't calling fucking 911 or calling someone else. So we get the no service or battery low trope.
But you know what? That's the most believable trope because that
Yeah, it
happens to
is.
me all the fucking time, and I'm
Yeah.
not in a horror situation. You know, trying to win an argument with somebody, I gotta look this up. And I'm like, no batteries. Like, God damn it.
Did I win or did I lose?
Yeah.
Did I win or did I lose?
It's like everyone in a horror movie has Sprint. Like, that's it. Like, it's like
T-Mobile.
you might need to upgrade here. It might be
Yeah.
time to pay a little extra for Verizon so you could survive a horror movie.
I
Well, at
never
least the
see.
killers can't have an iPhone. You know that, right? Apple made it like a rule that if you use an iPhone in a movie, it can only be used by the good guys.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
Oh,
see, Jose.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Yeah.
Bad guys can't have iPhones in movies.
Interesting.
What
How
is
come we
it?
never see them with chargers? You know what I mean? Like if their battery dies, you don't see them with chargers, man. Come on.
Because you get strangled with that shit in a horror movie, Dan.
Good
That's
point.
why.
Yes.
Who isn't charging their phone like that? Like I say, my phone gets that level of battery maybe once every couple of months. Like that's Kevin.
Every time Kevin- Yeah.
I live on 10%, bro. That is how I live. I go to bed at night and I got 22%. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not even gonna charge it. I don't even care. My charger's over there. I'm one of those assholes, dude. That would totally happen to me. So if we're ever in a horror situation, don't depend on my phone.
I get to 67% and I start sweating. I'm like, where's my charger? Like I gotta
man. I never see 40% ever. Never.
I straight up use my phone until it completely dies. I don't care. 1%.
Dang.
I don't care.
That gives me anxiety.
I'm so stubborn. I think it's just because I don't like people calling me, and I'm okay with that.
See, with me, I think it's because of like horror movies. Like I always think like my phone always needs to be charged. What if shit goes down and I have no battery power? And that is my motivation to always keep my phone charged.
Yeah.
For me, it's clearing up space on my phone because I'll be in it would be a situation. I'm just making one up. If I saw fucking Michael J. Fox and I'm like, oh, dude, can I get a picture? And be like, yeah, sure, okay. And I open up my phone, it's like storage full. It's like, hold on, I gotta delete some pictures. I gotta, like that's my horror situation.
Sorry, mom. And you still delete all these family photos from Michael J. Fox.
I gotta restart my phone. I'm sorry. Like that's my horror.
And he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, getting into the next trope. The fumbling of the keys, car keys, house keys, all keys. There's always the fumbling of the keys.
The fumbling of the keys and then the car not fucking starting.
The car not starting.
I don't mean to jump ahead. I don't know if that's where you're going for, but yeah, the fumbling of the keys. Yeah. I actually experienced that once. When I was living in Sherman Oaks, I was walking home and I was on the phone with somebody, and then I turned around. I was right outside the gate and I saw a family of raccoons like across the street, and like they were climbing up on the fence, and then the mama raccoon was on the bottom, and she like turned around, she saw me, and I was just like, hey, you. I was like, and it started running towards me. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like fumbling, trying to get my keys, trying to get it into the fucking door. So yeah, I have experienced that.
See,
yeah,
that's real. I think that's realistic, man, because human panic, you start panicking, you're fumbling. It's like you're not thinking clearly at all. You're so stressed on the situation at hand. That seems very realistic.
See, I always watched it in the movies. I'm like, fucking idiots. Like, grab your damn key, look down and grab the key, and that's it. And I was like, there's no way this would actually happen in real life. Then I started seeing all these videos online of people doing I think it's the Michael Myers challenge, where they had two people start at a certain point. The victim starts running, and then the other person slowly walks. And all they have to do is just get through the door, and they win. And like 1 out of every 10 people actually makes it through the door. Everyone else gets killed because they can't get the right key.
I was gonna mention Halloween H2O because I felt like that was a one movie I thought that they actually did that trope really well. Because you remember when Michael Myers was chasing Josh Hartnett and his girlfriend, and they're running into that little cage to get inside the dorm, and they're fumbling with the keys trying to get it, and then they get inside and they close it, but then the keys fall out. She's like, "Oh fuck!" And then like Michael Myers, he picks up the keys and he's fumbling trying to get through it. And I thought, but like even though that was a trope that you just always saw, I just thought that was just done so well, and it was really effective. It was one of the most suspenseful scenes in the movie.
Yeah. So I do feel this is a trope that is realistic. I didn't think that before, but I think now, yeah, you can fuck up your keys. So only carry one key at a time.
I
That's
do,
it.
dude. I only have one key on my fucking thing just for that. And my other key is just like a big chunky car key. So I'm just like, yeah, I just need one key. I'm like, how many fucking doors do you need to open?
I like it how we live our lives based off of all the horror movies we watch, just expecting this. We expect it to happen.
And not only even that, just, especially these days, all you have to do is unlock your key while unlock your car while you're running up to the,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even like my car. It's gotta put my hand in the door and it'll automatically unlock if I have the key in my pocket. And I feel like that'll still get fucked up. It'll be like that one time where it's like, damn it, come on, lock.
My hand
Unlock,
won't go
unlock.
up. My hand won't go up.
You fumble your hands.
Staring at your hands. Go up. Come on. And like as you see the camera just punching in on your hand and it won't go up.
You end up like Talladega. No, I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know.
All right, go into the
funny.
next.
No, not even gonna. No, go ahead, Jose.
Go into the next trope. Everyone splits up. It's like you have a group, you have maybe one killer, and everyone decides to go their separate ways.
I like that actually. The strongest survive. Who would like like I love seeing the group split off. I'm like, no, I would not go with that stupid motherfucker. He fumbled his keys earlier. I'm not gonna I'm gonna go with these ones. They already have weapons, dude. I'm going with this crew.
Yeah.
But I feel the advantage of sticking together, even with the weak ones, is that's fodder. You know, that's the person you can trip. That's the person you can like push out the door to keep the killer busy, to give you some room to escape. You know, give them the fake keys so they can get taken out.
And you're holding the one key already. They got the whole list that they're going through.
I don't know why I just pictured Freddy Krueger with keys for fingers instead of
I know. Now they have those smart houses. You know what I mean, with the locks. All you gotta do is just wave the thing around and the front door just opens up.
You can even like, yeah, tell your phone, like, Alexa, open my door. He's coming.
And Alexa just starts playing music. Oh, fuck off, Alexa.
Playing Open My Door by the Beatles.
Oh, no.
The next one, which this is, I would say, in over 90% of horror movies, and it can get pretty annoying, the jump scare.
Yeah, dude, the jump scares are so cheap. I hate them. Like just because like it's of course if you run up to somebody and go boo like that, like you're shocking somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never really liked the jump scares. Very rarely have I ever thought that they were done like really well.
Dude, it's overplayed and it's lazy writing to me. You know what I mean? Like the scariest moments is when you build up the tension in the scenes and you know, you could see your hero, your protagonist, and you see the villain in the background and they're slowly kind of walking toward you. Build the tension, even the fumbling of the keys, but just the jump scare is such a quick little thrill, and then that's it. Like
especially when you can see the jump scare coming from a mile away.
Those are worse.
That's like when you can see it. Sometimes if it's just happening, like it's just in a safe spot where what movie did that? I forget where it was just like a daytime thing, and you know they're just walking by and you felt that they were safe, and just out of nowhere, just like the killer just comes and like that. Like I like that because you didn't expect it, but when they plan that jump scare, it's like you see it a mile away.
Dude, it was the 90s. The 90s did that a lot. Like those horror movies, they so much relied on the jump scare.
You got those movies that just overdo it too. Like, you know, if you throw in one or two, whatever, I'm not gonna hold it against you, it's fine. But I've seen movies where it's just like it's pretty much all jump scares. You know, you get 7, 8 jump scares throughout the movie. It's like, all right, we get it. Like, so no, not a fan.
Scare me slowly. Like that's cool. I like that when that's smart writing and smart directing when you can just show something slowly happening. And that in itself is just scary without even having to use any blood or anything. You can just see a situation, just the situation itself. That's just really good writing when they do it like that.
Because it's more of a surprise. Yeah, it's more of a surprise. You're not actually even scared. You know, it's just more like, oh, what was that? Like I got jump scared the other day by a loose piece of thread on my shirt. They just like rolled my arm the wrong way, and I like jumped. I wasn't terrified. It shocked me. I was like,
Your
"What is
will
that?"
got updated. Your will got updated. That
Yeah.
I was hanging on by a thread. But yeah, I always look at it like, if you want to avoid jump scares, think about it like when you're telling ghost stories with your friends, right? Usually doing it very slowly and building up a scene, and you're building up scares without having to go boo. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I like my horror movies, without jump scares.
Going to the next one. Clowns are evil. And
can we just get one good clown, please?
I was trying to think. I'm like, has there ever been a horror movie where a clown was just like
the hero,
at least okay? Like, hey, that clown was very helpful. Like, not once. They've always
even in the
been
movie.
evil.
Even in the movie Air Bud, the bad guy was a clown. It's like it's always a clown.
You have John Wayne Gacy to thank for that.
Clowns must really hate this. I would think. Like,
that would be a funny sketch, dude. That'd be a fun, like a support group for clowns who are sick of being looked at as bad guys.
Here's another one. Did we have? Wasn't that like a few years ago? There was that whole clown scare for like a whole summer where people were just dressing as clowns and standing creepily in corners to scare people.
Yeah,
I'm sure that did not help their industry.
No, it set them back a little bit. Yeah, they just were making progress.
The next trope is the person running always trips. No one can keep their footing when they're running in a horror movie. It doesn't matter who it is, child, adult, male, female, skinny, fat. No one can just run without tripping over something.
I know Scary Movie. I think it was Scary Movie or Scary Movie 2 that really played into that, where she just kept tripping over and over and over. It's like, come on, get up already. But it reminds me a lot like the fumbling of the keys. All of a sudden they lose all coordination. They can't think of anything. Like, especially running, man. Just run. I know when I'm scared, I don't trip over shit. All of a sudden, I'm like fast as fuck, boy.
Or you just keep going. You tumble, you do a little tumble, you do a little handstand, and then get back up and run. Like,
just like parkour.
I think that's the one trope that makes me angry in movies, is because it's so stupid. Like I automatically want that person to die. And then I remember when the Friday the 13th game came out, right, Jose? We would play that all the time. I love that game. And when you were a counselor running away, like, you would always, it was written into the code that I don't know, after a certain amount of time or steps, like, your character would stumble just like that. And that would always drive me crazy, but I still respect it. I'm like, yeah, that's a horror movie trope.
When you see like they not only trip, but when they trip, they then turn around and they start crawling backwards, like, no, don't get me, no, don't. It's like, get the fuck up.
Turn back around and get the fuck
They're
up.
still 20 feet away from you. You have plenty of time. Well, the ones that always made me laugh is like in the Leprechaun movies and like the Chucky movies and all that stuff, is like when they would trip and let these like small-legged like killers come and find them. It was like three of your, one of your step is five of theirs, so you already have an advantage. Like, why are you tripping?
Yeah.
I think when it comes to those types of horror movies where the killer's like a little midget, my favorite trope is whenever the character's like looking underneath the car and they can see the little legs, like, like their little legs, like if Chucky's on their back and his little legs are kicking while he's trying to kill you, like that's my favorite midget killer trope.
Dude, I was just watching Leprechaun the other day, and they did the chase scene where the girl's running and the camera's like has a wider view of her legs, and then when they show his little legs, it's super tight. You just see little feet just running to the...
I get so angry sometimes when they don't add a little sound effect with it too. You know?
Here we go. It's too hard.
It's a me, Mario.
It wasn't on my list, but that reminds me with the small killers, they always have the one where they're holding them like this, and instead of just like tossing them aside, it's like they can't help but keep holding them while they're trying to kill them and stuff. And they're just like, no, I can't let go of you.
And close to them.
On. Yeah,
extend your arms out.
We can toss them. Like, just get them out of there.
Like Jose did the thread on the shirt. Talk that shit.
Hey, I haven't seen that shirt since.
These are the wardrobe I don't trust. They've almost killed me, so I won't.
Burn them.
Yeah,
Burn them.
This one had a big belt hole loop and it got caught on a door. I never wore those pants again.
I hate when that happens. Fuck those pants. Man, the loop gets caught. You loose loop motherfucker.
Getting into the next one. Someone appears behind you in the mirror. They always do the same. Someone's washing their face or looking in the mirror.
And so it's when they close the mirror too.
Yeah, or when they go down to like wash their face and go back up and someone's standing like back there. It's like, are all these people fucking ninja? No one hears someone walking into the bathroom? Like,
not only that, are these killers like they practice that? You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is gonna be a good one. I'm just gonna wait till she closes the mirror, and then I'm gonna jump out. I'm gonna be right there. They did that in the Evil Dead remake. The girl, when she was washing her face, and she closed it, and then she had like the fucking dead face on there. Saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah, always. It's always, you always know every time they set up the bathroom scene with the mirror and the same angle. You always know it's the same thing.
Like, how are they not making any sense? Like, is the killer removing his shoes like before he enters? Because it's not rug in there. It's usually hard floor, so you're gonna make some sound. So they like removing their shoes and just kind of going in socks and like tiptoeing behiin them and just getting in position.
Just crawling on the roof. Like, remember when you're a kid and you would climb up like the door frames? Like that. He's speaking.
I did that in college.
I did that this morning to hide from the Jameson. I'm like, you can't find me.
I still remember it was my freshman year of college, and this is like one of the first nights drinking over there. And there was this building, it was called like Huzik, and that was like your normal dorm things. Mm-hmm. And the hallways were pretty narrow. And I barely remember anything from that night, just little flashes. But I remember one of them is I started climbing like the walls, trying to see if I can get up to the ceiling. So you do not need to be a kid to do that.
Yeah, that's the last thing I need to see. Jose clinging to the walls. And scariest thing of my life, just having Jose with his.
Come over here, Kevin.
Those long arms of Jose. He's like, damn.
And I'd be like, did you hear that noise? What's that sound? Let me go investigate.
A fucking Langolier, Kevin.
Is he real? He's frozen. Maybe I should try and slowly touch him to see if he's real.
They always do that. I think they're dead, and they always go to reach for them. Just run the fuck out.
Yeah. You've got extra bullets. Keep shooting.
Why are you slowly touching him? Kick that motherfucker and see if he moves.
Throw a fucking rock at him. Throw your shoe at him, man. Damn. The cell phone that's dead.
Dan's going to throw his shoe, and all of a sudden he's going to stumble while leaving. He's like, damn it, I did it.
All right, the next trope. No one listens to the logical person. You don't always get a logical person in a horror movie in the group of the victims. But when you do, no one ever listens to them.
Yes, Ripley and Alien. They never listened to her, man. She was right from the very beginning. White break protocol. Don't release him. He's clearly infected. They didn't listen, and sure enough, they all died.
That was one of the things that I love when movies skip that disbelief period of like believing a character. Like one example I could just think off at the top of my head was like The Conjuring. So when their house was getting haunted and they were seeking out, the Warrens to come investigate. Right off the bat, they believed them and they went into the house and they were experiencing things right away. Instead of going, we showed up, we couldn't get anything on camera, so we left. And then the activity picked up again. Nah, as soon as like we need help, there's scary shit going on, and they go there and they see it right away and they automatically film it. I love it because it just speeds up the story so much, I don't know.
Yeah. I remember Cabin in the Woods, they kind of leaned into it where like the pothead was the one that was logical, and because of the weed, their pheromones and stuff they were releasing didn't affect them. So he was the one logic. He was like, we shouldn't go down there. We shouldn't read that. We shouldn't open that. And everyone just kept ignoring him the entire time.
Yep.
And they were over at their whatever their studio with their stuff, and they're like basically like, oh wait, what's going on with this guy?
I think that's one of my favorite satires.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was-
like
Loved
of
it.
anything. That was so well done, and it was so fun to watch.
The
And
merman.
I love how they just balanced comedy and actual
Yeah.
horror like
Mhm.
well. Like the scary parts
Oh,
felt
yeah.
it felt scary, and then it had like right when you got scared, you were fucking laughing on the next scene.
Yeah.
You know, like it's so well done.
That's what I'll say
I
with like
agree.
the merman, where he's like, "Oh, come on, man!" And you see the merman just dragging, and it fucking eats up the whole time. Come on, merman.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me. The thing's falling over to him. Oh, so perfect.
That guy's so good,
Uh,
man. I remember him as the bad guy in Billy.
Oh yeah, he's
Billy
great.
Madison.
He's
So good.
hilarious.
Mhm.
I wish he was in more stuff. He was really
Yeah.
funny in one of the Godzilla movies. Was it Godzilla King of Monsters? He was one of like the technical guys and
Oh
like
yes.
all the crew.
Oh,
The next trope, the knowledgeable person who coincidentally has years of research at their disposal.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
they just happen to be experts.
We got to speed up this story somehow. He's an expert in this field, and we're not going to mention it until right now.
Exposition. We need exposition
Yeah.
right here.
It was this person's been collecting newspaper clippings since '79. Like,
Of this specific date, of this specific time, in that specific city, they're an expert in it.
if you think about it, like a lot of these were like pre-Google too. So it was
Yeah.
like they put in the work. This is
Yeah.
like multiple libraries. Like you
Always
are ordering
libraries.
shit. Like
Yep.
I was more
Because-
afraid of that kid who went above and beyond to find, like, to look up all these crazy murders.
Yeah. And it's always libraries with the projector newspaper clippings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you ever been
Always.
to? Have you ever done one of those?
I did it like one time when I was
I
young.
did it one. I remember. I think it's because I saw it in a movie and I was a kid. I'm like, I'm gonna go down to my local library. I'm like, can I do one of those newspaper things where the things go like that? And the lady's like, yeah, okay, here. I'm like, all right. I was like looking for crimes in my town. I was like, didn't find anything, but I'm like, let's keep looking. We gotta look for something weird.
So, do you have anything about any killings that might be ritualistic and connected to a serial killer from the 50s?
No, but we have it in the 60s. Not good enough. I want 50s.
No.
No.
All right. We got a couple more here, so let's get into it. The weapon that is just out of reach, and I would add to this also, is the weapon that gets dropped after you kill the
Ah.
killer, and they drop it, and then they go to see if the killer is still alive without the weapon, or they're getting choked out or about to be stabbed, and the weapon is just 1 inch away from them.
I just saw that in the new Hellraiser. They did the exact same thing.
Oh, did they? I didn't
spoilers.
see it yet. I didn't see it. Don't
but
spoil.
it happens where it's just like, oh, come on, man. It's the same trope. Like, come on. The movie's pretty good, though. I recommend watching it.
It's like,
All right,
how
cool.
is it always just like an inch away? Like from it's like I can't get. And then this is the thing: the killer, while they're either choking them or trying to stab them, do never see them reaching for the weapon over there. They're never like, I'm gonna move you to the right because you're getting pretty close to that weapon that can kill me.
Yeah.
Well, I think, now you're talking about weapons. I think it's funny how the trope for these serial killers, they never use fucking guns. Can you imagine Michael Myers walking in with like a fucking AK, just taking everybody out with Uzis? Like, I would watch that.
Why?
Uh,
I
J-
always thought the
Jason-
same thing.
Jason just sniping counselors from a distance from across the lake. You never see him.
It ends in 15 minutes. The movie.
Yeah.
What a nice short film.
Yeah. Oh man, Jason's really a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing him trying to check the wind with his mask on.
Yeah.
Like,
I
was
like,
like, who knew the eye
He's
holes were
adjusting
big
the
enough?
scope, adjusting the scope.
Through the eye hole.
Oh.
He has a gun club membership.
We'll make this one the last one, and this is like nobody knows how to zigzag in these horror movies. Whether it's like if you're running down the road being chased by a possessed car, you keep running straight. You don't zigzag or try to jump over a wall or something.
I see Jose using you be running away from a guy. You be using like spin moves and stuff and getting like, psych.
It's like, you can't get me. You can't get me.
Yeah, I
Gets
think
on the
what was I
ground,
watching?
rolls,
What was I
gets up.
watching recently? It was fucking I Know What You Did Last Summer when Ryan Phillippe is like he's running after his car that just got stolen. All of a sudden it just turns around and starts chasing him. It's like, bro, run down the sidewalk. Why are you running in the middle of the street? Dude, go inside that building. Go where that car can't go.
It just reminds me kind of like remember Game of Thrones where they send the kid out there and then he's like running back and they're like just trying to shoot him with the arrows and he just runs in the straight line, makes it easier for him.
It also reminds me of Austin Powers. Remember how the security guard's sitting there on the ground? No. And they have Austin Power going with the roller,
with the
right?
steamroller.
Steamroller. No, it's like that. He's
like,
just waiting for the slow down.
Seeing how we're talking about vehicles, like I think I mentioned earlier about the cars not starting. Like even if it's a fucking brand new car, it's not going to start.
Yeah.
And I just thought that would be such a great advertisement for a mechanic shop. Like come to our cars always start up right away. You see two characters running to the car and then like one gets in, doesn't start, and the other guy starts it up right away. He's like, bye. It's like, come to our mechanic shop, you know, like
bye.
How did you survive? I
Killer's
went to
just
Rogers
shaking.
Mechanics.
The killer's just shaking his fist at them.
Damn you, Rogers.
We'll never leave you in a bad spot.
There you go.
But you know what I was thinking too, because like with all these tropes and how cool it would be to see horror movies that wouldn't have all these tropes in it and to break new ground for new things. And do you guys hear? I think it was a rumor for a while that the Star Wars universe was going to make its first horror movie.
Yeah,
and I think it was going to be on planet Hoth with what's that monster that lives on Hoth that took Luke. I heard it was going to be something like that. I'm like.
Wampa.
Yeah, Wampa. And I think I heard it might be something like that. I mean, that'd be interesting because there's so many tropes you really couldn't do. They couldn't do like the phone or like the car keys or anything like that. It'd be fun to see how they would actually handle that in a universe where they don't have.
God damn it, the X-Wing isn't starting.
Yeah, the X-Wing's not starting.
The keys, he's fumbling with
R2-D2 is fumbling his little fucking weird robot dick to go into. I can't get it in there. I can't.
Robot dick. Come on, R2. Come on.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, guys. So what's on the queue?
I feel just because of the current event with the possibility of 2 happening, I'm gonna have to throw Trick or Treat on the queue, the original, because I'm gonna be watching it anyway.
Good one.
Well, I guess my cue would be the Evil Dead remake. It was really well done. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was a very clever way to do the original in its own type of thing and still honor a lot of the moments that they had. It was great.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna go with Cabin in the Woods. We talked about it. Phenomenal movie. They play into the tropes. They tie it into the storyline, make it super creative. Like what Kevin says, perfect balance of horror and comedy. So really good stuff, man. So. Thank you for watching another episode. Please like, subscribe, comment, share on our YouTube channel, Not a Strong Start. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Not a Strong Start. I'm your host. I'll be back. Follow me at King_Sangre.
Let's run upstairs. And you can find me at This Is Mi Nombre.
And I'm, what was that sound? Let's go investigate. And I'm at Twin Pines Video.
Make sure you subscribe because when we release bonus episodes, you will get the notification and you can keep up to date with anything that we are putting out.